Shalom and good day all. This is Tehillim29 back again for, but this time for a Super Sons Fortress of Attitude comic review. And as you can see, we are going to be I'm going to be reviewing Challenge of the Super Sons issue 1. Absolutely enjoy the cover here, what Jorge Jimenez has done. And let's move on to who will be working on this comic. The chapter is called Doom on the Horizon, story, of course, by Peter J. Tomasi, art by Max Rayner, colors by Louis Guerrero, and lettering by Robert Lee. Cover artist, of course, Jorge Jimenez, along with Alexandro Sanchez. And some awesome editing by Paul and also Dave. As we finally enter into the story, we of course meet these two future characters who we also see in the original Super Sons and the adventure of the Super Sons run. And this is where Peter J. Tomasi has added a little bit more lore around the characters. In other words, we also see that the male character is also able to fly. Where in the last series, or the last couple of series, we learned that the female character was able to fly. So even though the male character does look a little bit like Damien in appearance, and how they're related to the Super Sons, hopefully in time we will find out how they're related to them. Also, if you pay attention, which I really enjoyed within this story, is the small discussion that they have between them, and of course the good old bookshelf scene. Pick up more Challenge of the Super Sons if you want to see the rest of these Super Sons titles come out. And I love some of the titles that are in this. We've got Adventures of the Super Sons. We've got a reference to the first series after the Super Sons. We've got the Lost Years, Easy Company, Super Sons No More. I wonder if that's in reference to Bendis destroying the Super Sons. And then we're moving on to which this story is about, which is the Doom Scroll, the Super Sons, Crisis on Infinite Earths, and Bummer Summer. It is fantastic. And as we finally return to the story around the Super Sons, Peter J. Tomasi shows us once again that it is possible to pull off a good story set around a bit of a school life setting. And this is also this school life setting for superheroes is also seen within things like manga and anime. And I also want to bring up some recommendations to which they also bring it in the DC Comics universe, especially the animated universe. One example to where they do actually use the school setting is actually the Young Justice animated series. Not so much the Teen Titans, but you do see it in the Young Justice animated series, especially the early seasons. Now, moving on to the scene here, I really like what Peter J. Tomasi's done here. And of course, we're in the West Reeve School Library, which is the school which Damien and Jonathan are still attending. I enjoyed the banter that we had here. So we know where we are. We know where the characters are, which is fantastic. We've got John here working on a scoop, and Damien's just snoring away. And of course, without these awesome editors keeping us in the continuity of the Super Sons, of what's happening, of where this takes place, they let us know when this takes place, which is really fantastic. As we move on, we continue to the Super Sons finally making their way to do their patrolling for the night. And as you can see, we have a bit of fun here with what's happening with Jonathan and Damien, and I enjoy what happens here between them. And they finally get along, and the consistency in this art is fantastic, and I'm enjoying it. So fantastic job here with the artist, as I really like what they've done here. And of course, who wouldn't want to surf on the back of a superhero? Damien gets the opportunity to do it with John. I must admit, it's fantastic to see our Super Sons being superheroes in the neighborhood once again. As we can see a bit of a scene happening here with Damien and John helping one of the locals and the family. It is really good. And after a bit of time, they finish 4 minutes later. They start to encounter someone who encounters them. We don't know if this person is the villain, or just someone seeking their help. We move to this bit of a cliffhanger, and this isn't quite the last page, but I chose it specifically because of what it specifically says on this page. And it says, this is the story from the other side. So what are we going to see in regards to what is the other side? Are we going to see something in regards to the supernatural? Are we going to see the future? What are we going to specifically see within this story that is going to continue to grab us, the Super Sons readers' attention? Thank you so much to DC Comics and Peter J. Tomasi, and also the editors too, who know and understand the continuity of this run. Well, this is the Super Sons Fortress of Attitude review.